search for Billy Mwangi's whereabouts intensifies, with the Embu County Security Committee urging residents and lobby groups to remain calm amid demonstrations set for Monday. And onto our part 2 special feature tonight, we unravel the good, bad and ugly of the year that has been 2024 in matters politics.
Remember, you can watch this particular bulletin live on Facebook and as well as YouTube. And you can also send us your feedback through our SMS line. That is 23059. Martin Macharia is my name. Now let's get started, shall we? And President William Ruto attended the last Sunday service church of the year in Koiwo AIC in Bomet County, where he urged Kenyans to reflect on the year's achievements and overcome the challenges facing his administration as the country prepares for 2025. During the service, which was attended by various leaders from Bomet and Migori counties, the president emphasized the importance of prayer as the country enters the new year. He called on the congregation to pray for the nation, seeking unity and strength as Kenyans face both triumphs and tribulations in the coming year. In his address, President Ruto encouraged the people of Kenya to take time to assess the progress made in the past year and work towards overcoming any hurdles that remain. He acknowledged the difficulties in his administrations has encountered during the recent past.
Muniombe nizidi kuunganisha taifa letu la Kenya. Hiyo ndio kazi nimejitolea kufanya. Kuunganisha Kenya na kupanga vile Kenya itabadilika kwa mipango na miradi ya maendeleo. Hiyo nitafanya na bidii na kujitolea. Tujenge barabara, tuunganishe stima, tuhakikishe universal health coverage imefaulu. Vijana wetu tumewapangia ajira, kama ni ya housing, kama ni ya industrialization, kama ni ile ingine ya export of labor na zile zingine zote, ndio Kenya iweze kusonga mbele. Because I am determined to change this nation. Na hii nchi kwa mapenzi ya Mungu tutaibadilisha tukiwa pamoja. Mimi nawauliza sisi wote kama wananchi wa taifa la Kenya, wazazi, viongozi wa dini, maaskofu hawa, sisi viongozi wa siasa, tujue ya kwamba tuko na sehemu ya kuchangia katika kupeleka taifa letu la Kenya mbele. Hatuna nafasi ya kulaumiana. Hatuna nafasi ya kunyosheana vidole za lawama. Tuungane ndio tuweze kupeleka taifa letu la Kenya mbele. Haya mambo yote tunayopanga, masomo ya watoto wetu, kupanga vile watapata ajira, kama ni kwa housing, kama ni kwa digital jobs, kama ni kwa migration. Hiyo kazi yote tunafanya ni kwa sababu watoto wa Kenya ni baraka kwetu. Mbali na changamoto, tumepata baraka nyingi kama taifa. Na mimi nafurahi sana kwamba tulianza mwaka huu tukiwa mipango yetu mingi haikuwa imeshika kasi. Lakini leo mimi nafurahi ya kwamba tukisimama hapa Bomet, ile mpango tulikuwa nayo ya mambo ya masoko, sasa masoko 200 Kenya inajengwa, ikiwemo yenu ya Koiwo hapa.
Moving on, former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua, DAP party leader Eugene Wamalwa, and former UDA Secretary General Cleopas Malala have threatened to lead nationwide protest in January if the rising cases of abductions in the country do not cease. The leaders made the statement during the gathering in Mukunga village, Napaholo constituency, where they demand that the government release those abducted and take action to ensure the safety of citizens. Gachagua called for unity among the Mulembe community, urging them to collaborate with other regions like Mount Kenya to strengthen their influence in the nation's future leadership. He emphasized that such unity would amplify their voices and impact in the political arena. Gachagua, however, accused President William Ruto of attempting to divide Mount Kenya to gain control. Both Wamalwa and Malala criticized the government for failing to fulfill its promises to the Mulembe community following the elections, stating that the community would no longer be, would no longer accept being politically manipulated without benefiting. They also condemned the recent attacks and threats against individuals perceived to be allied with Gachagua.
You know, when I have listened to the president, when he's talking about Kenya being united, what he means is Kenya being united behind him. It is not possible. And that is what I refuse President William Ruto. He wanted to be the leader of the Mount Kenya region. I said, you are the president of Kenya, lakini kwa jamii, and he did not want that. A police officer threw tear gas at us. The meeting went on. And the people were dealt with by wananchi. Wananchi will not allow that kind of nonsense anywhere. So the meeting still went on. Nothing stopped the meeting.
It's over 48 hours. Tangu utoe agizo la kukomesha utekaji nyara. Watoto hawa hawajapatikana, hawajulikani walipo. Twataka tukiwa hapa tutoe ilani kwake. Kama itafika mwaka mpya tarehe 1 na watoto hawa hawajapatikana, haitakuwa tena ni kumuomba atekeleze yale aliahidi kule Homa Bay. Itakuwa sasa ni Wakenya wajitokeze. Wakenya wajitokeze, wazazi wajitokeze. Mambo haya si ya wajenzi tena, ni yetu sisi sote kama Wakenya. We cannot allow a constitutional democracy tuwe na udikteta eti hawezi kosoa serikali, na ukikosoa serikali unatekwa nyara, unauawa.
Na tungependa kuomba Wakenya wote, kama maneno haya hayatafanyika vile rais amedirect jana ama juzi, basi tujitoe wote. January tujitoe wote. Hakuna kuendelea na biashara ya kawaida kama mambo ya abduction hajaisha. Kama William Ruto anataka kutuabduct sisi wote kama taifa, tukutane kwa barabara, atuabduct sisi wote, tujue kwamba abduction ni jambo la kawaida hapa Kenya. Lakini hatutanyamaza. Sasa tuko kwa upinzani. We are in the opposition and we've accepted our position. We are in the opposition and we are not begging for any position in that broad-based government. Hatuna haja na kitu chochote. Sisi tuko kwa opposition kwa sababu tunataka tukomboe Kenya.
Alright, moving on. The search for missing university student Billy Mwangi, who was abducted on December 21st, 2024, continues to intensify, with the Embu County Security Committee urging residents and lobby groups to remain calm and allow authorities to focus on locating the 24-year-old. During a security meeting at the County Commissioner's Office, Embu County, Police Commander Samuel Mudhamia expressed concerns that ongoing protests could hinder the investigation. Mwangi was abducted by hooded men at a barber shop in Dallas Estate while waiting for a shave. Mudhamia reassured the public that the police were doing everything possible to track down the missing students. Take a look.
We have been having a joint meeting that is of the County Security Committee together with the Embu West Sub-County Security Committee. And the reason why we have been meeting here is that partially because of what happened yesterday, and we have been brainstorming to see, first of all, to review our progress in the issue of Mbile wa Wanjui Mwangi. Yes, the young man who was abducted. We have been trying to see where we are in terms of trying to find out his whereabouts. That is one of the reasons why we have met, and we are appealing to Embu residents to keep peace. Let them give us a little time. We work because we are working all the time. Like now it's on a weekend to try to find out to solve this problem.
And we are calling on the people of Embu to be patient because we are working day and night. That is why you can see even today we are in the office on a weekend. And the police received the petition from the family of Mbili Mwangi, and we are working on it.
Pia makundi ya haki za binadamu hatuoni simama vile walikuwa nasimama kitambo? Nani ambaye ataweza kuangalia maslahi ya watoto kama hawa? Hatukatai, mimi kuna vitu wamefanya zikapita mpaka, na tuseme hata huyo kiongozi wa inji pia ni binadamu na ako na familia zake na mambo, so kuna mahali maybe hii mambo inaweza enda ionekane kama imepita mpaka, lakini tutasuluhisha hii maneno namna gani?
Moving on, religious leaders across Kenya have raised alarm over the increasing cases of abductions, urging the government to take decisive action to protect citizens in the coming year. During the final Sunday church, Sunday service of 2024, clergy from various denominations gathered to deliver a united message calling for change. They emphasized the urgent need to address the security challenges plaguing the nation, particularly the rise in kidnappings that have been causing widespread fear and uncertainty among the public. The leaders strongly condemned the growing incidences of abductions, which have fostered a climate of fear throughout the country. In their address, they called for a joint effort between the government, security agencies, and the public to eliminate these crimes and restore peace to communities. The clergy underscored that the safety of Kenyans should be the government's topmost priority as the nation prepares for 2025. They urged law enforcement to intensify their efforts in curbing the abduction crisis, emphasizing the importance of protecting citizens from such unlawful acts. The religious leaders, however, reassured the Kenyan public that their safety should not be compromised and that the government must act swiftly to ensure their safety.
If anyone has committed a crime, whether in the digital space or otherwise, please stop abducting people. Arrest them in broad daylight. We don't expect the young people to begin trolling our national leaders using language or images that are inappropriate. That is completely unacceptable, but does not mean that they must be abducted.
Tunasema kwamba tugoje uchaguzi, lakini sio kufanya mambo, yani to go to an extreme, yani because the Bible says that those who fear the Lord will avoid to go to an extreme. Sasa tumevuka mpaka.
The young people missing in this nation, it cannot happen without the knowledge of the government.
We have seen in the year 2024 is a spree to raid the pockets of Kenyans, to raid their pay slips, to raid their bank accounts, that those who do business have really very little in terms of profit to take home, to take care of their needs.
All right, on the same breath, Kilifi County Senator Stewart Matsayo has called on President William Ruto to halt the abduction of youth across the country, threatening to lead a nationwide demonstration if the disappearances do not stop. Speaking in Malindi, Matsayo condemned the government's actions, claiming that the president is reverting Kenya to dark days of the Moi era by targeting youth who are simply exercising their democratic rights. Matsayo emphasized that it is wrong for the government to silence the youth who are well educated and tech savvy and are using their knowledge to expose corruption and government misconduct. The senator warned that such actions risk pushing the country back to a period of oppression and fear.
If the police wants to arrest a person they suspect is of crime, the best thing to do is once you arrest somebody, you present him to court. But you don't arrest someone and keep him with you, and then in the end that person is never goes back home. So I would say any form of abduction or any form of disappearance of a Kenyan is a huge offense, and it all falls back to the government. And basically the person who bears the brunt is the head of state. So it is very sad that since Kenya got independence, this is the first time we are witnessing people being abducted and people disappearing from their homes and never to return. This is a huge offense. Kama kuna jambo kubwa la kusikitisha zaidi ni kwamba vijana ndio wanaoshikwa sasa, wanaotekwa nyara. Hakuna kitu kibaya kama kutekwa nyara na polisi, ambaye polisi amepewa majukumu ya kulinda mwananchi. Sasa amekuwa yeye akionekana mitaani watu wanakimbia. Sasa utakuwa polisi namna gani wewe watu wakikuona wanakimbia? Kwa hiyo tunasema tu ya kwamba utekaji nyara ni lazima usimamishwe haraka sana iwezekanavyo. Kitu cha pili ni kwamba ikiwa serikali iliyo kwenye mamlaka haiwezi kufanya hivyo, basi itakuwa ni kitendo cha kusikitisha sana, kwa sababu serikali imepewa mamlaka ya kuona ya kwamba hakuna njia yoyote ya utekaji nyara inaweza kuwa. Kila mtu maisha yake yanastahili kulindwa na serikali.
All right, moving on to our special features promised earlier. The part of it for Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua 2024 is a year he would want to forget. Started off as the second Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya, ended it as an impeached former Deputy President. Through twists and turns, Gachagua fought so hard to remain in the second highest office in Kenya, but was eventually thrown out in the cold, left to deal with a souring relationship between him and his once close friend and ally, President William Ruto. Right, Cynthia Nanjala produced that particular story. Let's listen in.
There was a lot of speculation that Rigathi Gachagua wants to resign. I have no intention. I cannot resign. I did not give myself this job. I was given by the people of Kenya. I've done nothing wrong against the people of Kenya.
Abstentions 1. The noes 44. The ayes 281. So the ayes have it.
Serve the people of Kenya
and the Republic of Kenya
and the Republic of Kenya
in the office of the Deputy President.
In the office of the Deputy President.
All right, now one last aspect of this interview that I'd love us to talk about was the change in the executive when Rigathi Gachagua was impeached.
Yes.
And then, you know, Professor Kithure Kindiki subsequently appointed and now sworn in as the third Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya. Were the odds against him right from the start, against Gachagua, putting in mind that you had opposition MPs and government MPs now sort of collaborating and just throwing him out? Was his goose cooked right from the start?
Politically, yes. Though I think it is sad because the Constitution was supposed to protect him. Well, the Constitution tried. But again, it goes back to our culture of politics. And because of how our background of politics is set, then his goose was cooked from the very beginning. He had no chances really, because again, if you see that the president has captured the executive, he has actually now, as it seems, captured judiciary, which was the remaining arm. Then it tells you that you really stand no chance, even if anyone else were in the position that His Excellency Honorable Gachagua was.
Right.
So I think it is about our kind of politics, which already set him up for being a punching bag.
Yeah.
And if you know, it is also a show what happened, the entire process, and how quickly it was hurried up. Also shows that how the precedence that was set also shows that we could also experience such other cases in the future.
Right.
Because the bar was set very low. I mean, it is very easy to impeach a deputy president that it is to impeach a governor. We have seen cases like these of governors where it has taken months and months and months because the due process is being followed. Parliament is showing goodwill, and but we do not see the same for the deputy, which shows that the quotas of who is who in government had already made a decision on it.
Right.
But it is sad, I will say, because we lowered the bar. And now anyone can, it shows even the president is not safe.
Yeah.
And we should put some amount of respect to these offices, not to these individuals, but to the office
themselves.
We ought to have shown respect and dignity to the office of the deputy president, as we show respect and dignity to the office of the president and all other offices, so that these people are encouraged to work for the people and not to work for an individual, so that even in future the deputy presidents of the future will be encouraged or motivated to advise the president without fear that a purge might be carried upon them. So I think lowering the bar was the only bad thing about it.
Right.
Yes.
Right, and you know, the matter is still active in court, despite the fact that, you know, he's already out of office, has been replaced already. But if the courts vindicate him, where does it leave him? Because he's not going to get the office back.
Yes.
Perhaps 2027 and try to, you know, come back into the political space.
Where, in my opinion, where that will leave him, it will give him the grace of being actively in politics in future. It gives him the latitude of now not only influencing, but also being part of the team that is taking over in the near future. It also gives him a chance, a window, to probably try a stab on the seat of the presidency in the future. But even if that were not to happen, which of course we are likely to see, anything is possible, then it does not really mean that he does not participate in politics, because now I believe he has a very huge influence, more than he had before. I believe that there are supporters of his who will listen to him, and so he has a duty, I think, more than even before, now to fight for the people.
Right.
And to see it in the sense that I was saying that you do not need a position to be a leader. I mean, even now, despite the fact that the fourth president has an office, even if he were to lack that office, he still has some clout to ensure that he speaks for the people and on behalf of the people.
Right.
Yes.
And so as we wrap this conversation, you know, 2024, that basically has been what the year has turned out to be.
Yes.
What are you looking forward to in 2025? Perhaps alliances, now that we've seen the president meet the former president, Gachagua Kalonzo alliance. What do you see 2025 as?
What I expect from 2025 is to see 2027 for what it is. Nothing short of it.
Yes.
Because from now, let me not lie to you, in my opinion, we are not going to see service. Now we are going to see politics, and we are going now to understand how the clear picture of 2027. So 2025 is basically the setting of 2027 or 2029, mark you, because again we have had very bad talks of people insinuating that we could see maybe a shift from 2027 to maybe 2029. We have had people talk about it. It could be a slip of the tongue, it could be intentional, and nothing happens by coincidence in politics. There is no coincidence in politics. So I think it also 2025 will also help the people to prepare themselves for the eventuality of a coup on the constitution. Because we saw partly a coup on the constitution in this year through the process of the impeaching of the deputy president, and procedurally. We also expect that if the same is to be carried into 2025, then the people could see a glimpse of a certain recurrence of such a coup on the constitution in 2027, that we are likely to see people who by all means are ready to do what they need to do to ensure that what the constitution has said does not happen. Because if the constitution is followed to the latter, then it means we will not be seeing what we are seeing now. So I believe that is that.
All right.
So we should be prepared.
Yeah.
And I think as a matter of fact, in 2025 now, as vuguvugu ingine, now the movements from these politicians and arrangements and alliances start, also the people should start the initiative of now ensuring that they are guarding and that they are vigilant on the constitution and what they are said. That now the people take it upon themselves to ensure that the IBC is formed, to ensure that by whatever means, everything that the constitution has said is done. And mark you, we have areas of representation where they do not have representatives. We have wards that do not have MCAs. We have constituencies that do not we do not have representatives. So I think we need an IBC, and that should happen in 2025. As of yesterday, we needed it. But in 2025, now that we are getting.
Right, apologies for that interesting story there by one Cynthia Nanjala. That's now to wrap up our bulletin here, being the last Sunday of 2024. My name is Martin Macharia signing off. Do you have yourself a good night? Let's meet again when God says we do.